Hello and welcome. This is Professor Svark, and in this video I'm going to provide you with an orientation to Accounting 101 Section W70 for the Spring 2015 semester. As you watch this video and dive into this course, I want to remind you that this is an accelerated course. I have provided a format to optimize success. However, it's really important that you stay on pace and that you dive right in as quick as possible. During this orientation video, I'm going to talk about a successful approach to this course. We'll look at a few things in the syllabus, talk about Connect, the online homework management system, and also briefly look at Blackboard. If at any point after you've watched this video you have questions, please do not hesitate to send me an email, to see me during office hours, or even to request a phone conference. So you can always send me an email and say, I have an important question, or I just want to talk through something. Can you call me? And if you leave me the time frame and your phone number, I'll be happy to phone you and have a conversation with you at any point. Just to give you some history about myself, I'm starting my 8th year at Harper. Before that, I was a part-time teacher at McHenry County College, and I also worked a corporate accounting position. I had a very excellent time in accounting. I'm an advocate for the accounting path, and I was working full-time at my corporate job and teaching at night, and I just found that I really was having even more fun at night with students. So I ended up leaving the corporate world and coming over to work full-time at Harper, and I'm enjoying it, and I enjoy working with students, and I look forward to working with all of you. I do have my CPA. I attended NIU, and here's just a picture. Me and one of our family hobbies, we like to do a lot of outdoor motorsports. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of personality behind me, especially with an online course. It's hard to see that. I try to bring it in to announcements and whatnot, but just recognize that I'm approachable. I do have a lot of experience both in academia as well as corporate, and my office door or email is always open to questions if you have an interest in going that route. So I usually like to start off and ask you your goals. So when you take the orientation questionnaire, I'm going to ask you a lot about your goals. And if you could provide some information to me, or I should say provide some specific information to me, tell me what your plans are, or maybe you're debating between a couple of different majors, or maybe you're just taking accounting for some personal knowledge. Tell me what your goals are so that I can bring in information that would help you. But I'm assuming that just about everybody in this course is taking accounting because they want to go into accounting or because they want to go in some other business area. And the thing that's very exciting about accounting has kind of a poor stereotype, but it's really a very cool field because when you're working in accounting, you actually have a foot in all the different areas of the business. And likewise, when you're working in these different areas of the business, as you move up the ladder and you start doing a little bit of management, you're going to be asked to report into accounting and work with budgeting, and you might have to prepare reports or proposals to get new equipment, and you'll need to have the finance information to back that. So it really is tied in. Accounting is tied into all the different areas of a business, and it's the backbone of the business. So as you're taking this course, even if you're not an accounting major, I encourage you to really pay attention and try to get as much as you can out of the course, because it's likely that accounting will be in your future in one capacity or another. Oops. So accounting itself is known as the language of business. So many people come into accounting and they think, oh, I don't want to take this, it's a math course. And I'm here to tell you that it's not. It is a language. Okay, so I need you to approach this course just like if you were taking Spanish or French or German. Okay, it is a 4-credit hour course because at Harper we recognize that you're really learning a language, and we want you to put a lot of time into learning this language. It does have a poor reputation. It's one of the toughest courses in the business curriculum. That's not just at Harper, but it's nationwide. And I think personally that a lot of that is the student's approach. So instead of taking this course and treating it like a language, a lot of times people come in and they just want to treat it like a business course or like a math course. And really that's not it at all. It's really about learning, starting out learning the nouns per se, or just the different words, and then how they fit together, and then how would you learn a language? You'd probably have to sit there and just go through note cards and quiz yourself or some other form of self-quizzing, and that is how you need to approach this course. So you'll hear me refer to flashcards a lot. I personally feel like that's a really great way to learn this, and in your busy life it's a great method because you can take those note cards with you. Because it's a 4-credit hour course, you really need to spend a lot of time practicing this in addition to the homework. Okay, so that's key too. You need to not only complete the homework, but then you need to sit there and self-quiz. And that doesn't mean that you need to sit down in large chunks of time. The homework you'll probably want to sit down during large chunks of time, but the additional studying really is best done in smaller increments. So while you're eating breakfast, you could sit there and just work yourself through note cards. Or when you're sitting at the dentist office or waiting to pick up kids, just go through your deck of cards. That is really going to help propel your success in this course. So again, I can't state it enough, this is not a math course. If you can add, you can make it through accounting. Okay, so again, practice it like a foreign language, the same method that you would approach a foreign language. Lots of self-quizzing. Another method that I used to use in college is just to take out a blank sheet of paper and kind of self-quiz myself on certain things. So you'll hear me refer to this throughout the course. And again, it's just because that little extra studying where you're just, quizzing yourself and treating this like a language is really important to successful completion of the course. So you're going to work, but it's worth it. Okay, it's an 8-week course, which means that you really should be studying about 16 to 20 hours per week. Some students can get through in less, some students may require more. Okay, just like if you're sitting in a language course and maybe the person to the left of you gets it, they just get the language, right? Accounting is the same way. Some people just get it and some people struggle a little bit more through it. So some people are going to require a little bit more, some a little bit less. Don't let the 16 to 20 hours per week haunt you too much, because there is a big portion of this that you're sitting down at a computer doing homework. But there's also a component of it where you just need to spend 20 minutes here and there working through some of the practice. But because it's an 8-week course and therefore requiring such a large amount of time, I need you to be motivated, dedicated, and especially proactive. So I need you to dive right in, starting today, get working on this. If you're struggling, if you have a question, I need you to work through it. So seek my help, seek the tutoring center. Harper has a fabulous tutoring center. It's free, it's walk-in, they have Saturday hours, it's fantastic. Another good source is YouTube. So you'll see I have videos posted on YouTube and you can follow along and hear my tricks, but there's a lot of other instructors out there too. So if you're struggling on just one specific type of thing, like I'm just going to use double declining depreciation. So you probably don't know what that is yet, but you will. If you're struggling on one topic, go into YouTube and Google double declining depreciation. And you'll find lots of different resources, and maybe another instructor out there will explain it in a way that works with your brain. So being proactive, going out there, trying to find resources is all going to help you learn this material. And again, a lot of it is just applying it because it's a language. So it will probably be new to you. So you're going to have to read, and then even when you're reading, because it's all new, you may not get it the first time around. So then you might have to watch some videos and come back and read again. But again, motivation, dedication, being proactive is really important. The feedback in this course has been good because it is a large chunk of time, but it's only 8 weeks. So I need you to jump in, focus. I'll do a countdown with you. We'll go through it and be like, oh, you're halfway there. There's only, 2 more weeks left. So I'm here with you. I'm working through it. 8 weeks is going to come and go really, really fast. So again, accounting, it's in language. Most students, they want to come in, they want to read, take some notes, do their homework, and repeat. Okay. I know I've been through college. Most courses you can get through the course by doing that same pattern. Okay. In the accounting world, again, oftentimes it's a new language. So you've not heard this before, or words that you've heard, like debit. I will start right away in chapter 2 talking about debits and credits. And most people, what have we heard? Debit cards and credit cards. Well, this is a new language. It's not a debit. A debit is not the same as your debit card. A credit is not the same as your credit card. Same thing with depreciation. We all have a preconceived knowledge of depreciation, but in accounting, depreciation is not that same thing. So we're going to work with a lot of words that you may know, but it's not the same. So therefore, I need you to read, take notes, review your notes, watch the videos, summarize your notes and make flashcards. Flashcards are very, very important. Complete all your coursework. If you need, seek help. And then continue to do the flashcards and practice, practice, practice. Okay, so all these extra practices here are going to be key for passing exams in this course. Okay. The deadlines are very strict, but I try to keep them on a pattern so that it's not like you're trying to remember new things. So deadlines in this course will be Fridays and Tuesdays. So every Friday, every Tuesday. And again, I'm looking for about 16 to 20 hours per week, but that's not all sitting down. I don't want you to sit down all Saturday and all Sunday. I want you to break that out, a couple evenings and then some note card studying in between. Okay, so you're working hard, but it's worth it. You're going to be challenged. You're going to build confidence. You're going to learn life skills. You're going to learn the language of business. And I guarantee that this knowledge will help you in your future. In addition, you're going to learn some study skills because, again, you can't make it through this course without really applying yourself. So it's a great course. I hope, I find a lot of students like it. And of course, there's some students that are like, oh, I just need to get through it. So that's okay. That's the same as any other course that you take. Again, I'm here for you. So please reach out to me if you're struggling, if you're happy, whatever, connect with me. I enjoy working with students, and I like feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. All right. So I'm not going to cover very much in the syllabus, but it is our contract. So make sure that you read it. Make sure that you note anything important that applies to you, things like accommodations, the cheating policy. Let's see, there's a lot of student services that are listed in there. So make sure that you read through it. I do want you to take the orientation questionnaire before starting the coursework. And actually, you have to take it in order to see the rest of the coursework. And please contact me with any questions. So I know that you guys are working kind of different hours probably than I am. So email is really my favorite approach because I check email quite often throughout the day. So send me an email if you need to make a time to see me, or if you want me to give you a call, that's fine too. My office hours are Mondays, pretty much all day, Tuesdays and Thursdays between classes, and then also by appointment. In the syllabus, you'll see that all the important deadlines are listed, but your final exam must be taken on or before Monday the 9th of March, and then your refund date. So if you watch this video and you don't want to take this course, you can drop it by Sunday for a full refund. Or if you decide throughout the course that you're just unable to meet the commitments, your final withdrawal date is February 22nd. So again, a lot of work built into this course, but I'm going to have you read the chapter and take notes. I have a video posted for each chapter. The videos try to take the content. They're not comprehensive. They don't go through every single nitty-gritty piece of the chapter, but what I try to do is take the pieces that may not make sense by reading. So I need to show you, right? So more application. Let me show you how to do this type of problem. And I have a lot of acronyms built into that, so students find that helpful to, you know, here's some quick and easy ways to get this content. And then there's Connect. So most of the work is done in Connect. In addition, I want you to work on flashcards, work on practice problems. Practice problems usually can be done from the video. So with the video, I always have a worksheet that goes with the video, and I like students to use those worksheets to be basically self-quiz. So print out fresh worksheets and quiz yourself. And then seek help if you need it. So there are 4 exams. In this course, you have the option of taking these exams at home on a personal computer using a webcam. So we do require proctored exams. So in order to proctor the exam, we actually videotape you using a webcam. Or if you don't want to use a webcam, you can also just come into the testing center to take the exams. If you're off campus, if you're studying in a different state, we can make arrangements for you to take it in a different testing center that's more convenient to you. Okay, so a lot of different options, but again, you can take them at home using a webcam or in the testing center. I also have 2 Excel projects. Those Excel projects, I shouldn't call them projects, they are really quick assignments. But basically, we want you to recognize that Excel is an important business function. So Excel can do a lot of really cool things. I recommend every business student takes an Excel course, but really what these Excel projects are meant to do is just to expose you to it. So I'm not teaching you a lot. I do take you step by step, so it's no guesswork. It's not like you have to know Excel really well. Watch my video, repeat what I'm doing in the video, and you'll be okay. So the exams, as I mentioned, you have the option to take them at home with a webcam or in the testing center. Either way, they're closed book. So no textbooks, notes, or class material, no cell phones, no talking to someone else. So students that are taking the exams at home using the webcam are expected to follow all those same rules. Okay, we do allow blank notebook paper, and we do allow a calculator. So if you're at home using the webcam, we will ask you, please show us front and back, very slowly, front and back sides of your notebook paper. Please show us front and back of your calculator. Please show us your desktop. Okay, so basically, either way, it's a closed book exam. So if you're taking it from home, you need a webcam, which you can find in the campus bookstore, or you can use one that's built into your computer. And then you'll also need to download Lockdown Browser. So I'll give you more information in the course. If you don't want to do that option, again, you can take it in the testing center. And I do have a built-in practice test. So if you want to try it and not commit to taking it at home, you can try a practice test and you can make the decision after you take a practice test. I think it's just 5 questions just to give you a little experience. All right, so the course requirements, again, most of the course requirements are done in Connect. So I have interactive presentations, which are basically narrated PowerPoints. I have LearnSmart modules, which are a smart flashcard, and I'll talk about those in a little bit. And then traditional homework. So we'll cover 12 chapters. Each unit is broken up evenly. So every 3 chapters is an exam. Okay, we'll also have those 2 Excel assignments for a total of 600 points. And you can always see how many points equals an A, B, C, D, or F. And I will also post after every unit exam. So after unit exam number 1, I will post a grade to date scale. For late homework, because we're in this accelerated course, it's really important that you stay on track. I basically have a very strict late work policy. So late work, if you miss a deadline by a day, still complete the homework, but it's a 25% penalty. If you miss it by 2 days, it's going to be 50% penalty. So it's 25% penalty per day. If you complete most of the homework, you're only penalized on the remaining. So if you complete 50% of it, you would get, let's say 5 out of 10 points. And then the 50% that you complete after the deadline would be penalized only. I do not allow extra credit. In fact, as a department, we do not allow extra credit in Accounting 101. And expect me to abide by these because I'm being equitable to all the students. It's not fair if I, extend deadlines for one student and I don't extend them for another student. So I'm sticking to all of my deadlines and my late work policies. And I will say the only one that I do not allow late work is LearnSmart, because LearnSmart will not allow me to put in a late, it just doesn't have the option. So if you're running behind, start with LearnSmart so that you can at least get those points. The exams, again, 4 unit exams, 50, they're all multiple choice questions. Okay? Each exam covers 3 chapters. They do cover vocabulary, concepts, financial ratios, which are found at the end of each chapter, and application. When I say application, that's like the, doing something. So preparing a statement, preparing a journal entry. But again, keep in mind, it's all multiple choice questions. Closed note, closed book. You can use a calculator and a pen or pencil. Whether you come to the center or take it at home, you do need an ID. So if you're taking it at home, we'll ask you to hold up your ID. If you're at the tutoring center, you'll need to show an ID. That could be a Harper ID or just a state ID. You have 1 hour and 45 minutes for the exam, so they are timed. And the final exam is cumulative. So chapters 1, 2, and 3 cover 3 chapters each. Exam number 4 covers all 12 chapters, and I'll give you more information as we get closer to that. Okay, the textbook. We are using John Wild's Financial Accounting Fundamentals, and this should be 4th edition. So we are using the 4th edition. The textbook in the bookstore is custom. We do that so that you can get a little discount, and it's bundled with the Connect code. If you purchase a used copy of the textbook, you can still purchase the access code. It runs just over $80. I think it's $81.75 or something along that lines. It does include an ebook. So effectively, you could run through the course with just the Connect access code. If you're a person that wants a textbook, I am still like my paper. So you can buy a used book, or it's a pretty decent deal to just buy it in the bookstore. You can also use the text. It's in the library on reserve, so you can't check it out, but you can at least have access to it. And then you have a free 2-week trial of Connect. So if you wanted to just get in there and see what it's like to use the ebook, you could try it out for a couple of weeks. If you're waiting to purchase, maybe you're just waiting for your paycheck, you can at least get started and then go into the textbook, go buy the textbook, or buy the Connect access code within the first couple of weeks. All right, so I just want to stress one more thing about success. So here's the points. They're very summarized. So this is Connect. That would be interactive presentations, LearnSmart, and homework, all bundled together. So your Connect assignments are 180 points. Excel is worth 20 points. And of course, your 4-unit exams worth 400 points is a total points possible of 600 points. Okay, and I also have my grading scale here. I want to take through and just walk through a couple of examples. So student A basically did 50% of the coursework. So, hit or miss. Maybe they turned in everything late. I don't know. Excel, they did one assignment, not the other. And then exams, they did really well. 73% on exams, which you may say, well, I like to get in the 80s, but accounting exams are pretty difficult. So sometimes students are, a little bit surprised, like, oh, I studied really hard. I usually get A's, and, I got an 84 on this exam. That's a good percentage. But in this case, the student didn't even do all the work. So chances are the student, if they would have done all the homework, those exam scores would have been higher. But my point here is that the student could have passed the course. They're doing, they're showing that they can pass the exams. However, the course is based on points. So this student earned 392 points, which is a D. Okay, so without those homework points, the student did not pass the course. So if the student would have done the homework, it's likely that their exam scores would have gotten boosted up as well, and the student would have passed the course. Okay, let's compare that to student B, who did 90% of the course, the homework, 100% of the Excel projects, and scored 59% on the exams. Okay, so did not pass the exams. But look at the student's final score. 418 points, the student earned a C. Okay, so I show this to you because I want you to really recognize that the homework is key. Okay, it's really, really important that you guys strive to do as many homework points as possible. Okay, students, you know, exams, you can have exam anxiety, you could just have a bad exam day. If you have a poor exam score, it's not going to kill your chance of completing the course as long as you're doing your homework. But oftentimes I have students that don't do the homework, you know, and then they're doing mediocre or poor on exams and they can't pass the course. Okay, so make sure that you're starting right away, day one, dive right into that homework and get as many homework points as you can because they will buffer. And oftentimes I've got a student, you know, maybe they get an 80% on exam 1, you know, a 75 on exam 2, and then maybe they really bomb 50% on exam 3, and then, you know, I don't know, 80% on exam 4. Okay, and they're really, really worried about that exam 3. But again, oops, your homework points buffer your exam scores. So just do the homework points. So you can do this. It's 8 weeks. Make the course a priority. Mark down your due dates. Again, Fridays and Tuesdays. Allocate blocks of study time, and that could be lunch hours and, you know, commercial time on TV. Okay, whatever works for you. You know, first thing in the morning, last thing before you go to bed. Just have some study time built into your day. Get help as soon as you start struggling. This course is cumulative in nature. So not only do we have a cumulative final, but the course just naturally builds on itself. It's just like a language course. So chapter 1 is going to teach you some basic language. Chapter 2 is going to teach you the fundamentals of how the language fits together, and then it just builds from there. Okay. All right, so let me turn to Connect. I actually just did some screenshots rather than try to take you through, just to kind of save some time here. The first time you try to access one of the homework. So chapter 1, go into homework, whether it's interactive presentations, LearnSmart, or homework. Okay, first time you try to access it, what you'll do is you'll get to this screen. If you bought this textbook in the bookstore, you put in your registration code. If you want to try the free trial, go ahead and start your courtesy access. And if you want to buy the code online, you press buy online. Okay, oops, what did I do? All right, if you buy it online, this is your option. It's Connect Plus with an ebook. Okay, $81.75. It's a 2-semester code, so you'll see that it basically lasts a year. Interactive presentations are basically narrated PowerPoint slides. I want to make sure that you see what this looks like. So basically, you'll go through and you'll watch some different videos, and then you'll be asked to do some sort of activity. It's really important that you go through every single question. So here you see I'm on question 2 of 9. So oftentimes students go in and they don't see this little menu here, the drop-down menu, or you can just select next. You have to go through every single module. So the first time sometimes students will go in and complete their first interactive presentation and only get, 20.2 points. They're like, well, what the heck, I did it. No, you only did one section of it. So go through and hit every single section. So this is a nice starter. It just walks you through the chapter. Okay. And again, oops, what happened here? And again, when, if this is the first time that you've ever been exposed to accounting, you want to make sure that you're exposed to it multiple times. So this is my first exposure. Okay, and here's an activity. It's basically just a drag and drop activity. Here's a video, here's a drag and drop activity. Now we move on to the next question. Okay. LearnSmart. LearnSmart now comes with SmartBook. This is a really cool tool for students, and I have a video put into your orientation folder. I recommend that you watch the video. It just talks about how you can use LearnSmart. So LearnSmart is really a whole integrated approach where you can preview the chapter, and again, when we're talking about being exposed, because it's a new language, so you're previewing the chapter, then you're reading the chapter, and SmartBook automatically highlights the important topics for you. Then you practice. Practice is LearnSmart. Okay, so you go through and you practice. Now, LearnSmart has been set up for a 20-minute session. If you have read, if you have watched interactive presentations, if you've engaged in the material, it will take you 20 minutes or less. However, it's a smart system, so if you don't know the answers, it will hold you in the system longer. So you're going to go through, some objectives. So it's going to start you off with objective number 1. Do you know it? Yes or no? If you know it, it's going to move you on to objective number 2, and then 3 and 4 and 5, and it will take you 20 minutes. If you don't know the material, it's going to keep you in objective number 1 until you do know the material. Okay, so sometimes what I see is students will spend an hour the first time in LearnSmart, and then they recognize, okay, I've got to just read the chapter first. Then you'll see it's 20 minutes after that. So trust me, you need to know the material a little bit before you do LearnSmart. So again, LearnSmart's in the practice portion. Now, the cool feature is you can recharge. So when you're studying for an exam, or you just, again, exposure, practice, if you want to just learn some additional material or focus on some additional studying, you can recharge. And recharge will help you focus on the topics that you need help with. Okay, also, when you practice, let's say that there's one objective, let's say there's 6 objectives and objective number 3 really gave you trouble. The highlighting in SmartBook will again highlight what you need to know. Okay, so really cool features. Watch the 4-minute video. And this is what LearnSmart looks like. It asks you, here's a question, and you say, do you know the answer? And it's really important. The fastest way to get through LearnSmart is to be honest. So the system, again, if you say, yeah, I know this, and you answer it wrong, the system's going to actually ding you. So it's going to keep you in there longer. Versus if you say, I think so, and then you get it wrong, or, I don't know, I have no idea, and you get it wrong. So be honest, quickest way to get through it. And again, this is going to help feed highlighting to the textbook. Okay, homework. This is what your homework looks like. It's really important, if there's anything in red, read it. Most often students are frustrated with Connect because maybe they're asking for negative signs, or omit negative signs, and they don't read the red highlighting, and all of a sudden they're like, I don't know, Professor Stork, I don't know why this is checking me wrong. And it's all because they just didn't include a negative sign. Okay, or commas, or parentheses. So read the instructions, especially if there's red, bold writing. And if you're struggling, there's this view hint. So view hint will take you to a sample exercise that's similar. So they'll give you some instructions. You can go right to the ebook. It'll take you to the ebook and give you some help. And there's also a check my work feature. So before you submit the homework, you can check. I will tell you that for interactive presentations and LearnSmart, you get the points for completing. It doesn't matter if you get right or wrong, you just need to work through it till you complete it. For homework, I let you redo the homework, but your grade is averaged. So let's say that you go through the homework, and again, you have checked my work, so you should know if you got it right or wrong. And let's say that you got 9 out of 10 problems fully correct. So you've got 90% of the points. You can go complete your homework, look at the answers, and go back in and complete that 10th question. So then it would basically average your 9 points and 10 points. So you would get 9.5 total points. What you don't want to do is submit the homework with nothing on it, look at all the answers, and go in and basically cheat the system. A, you're not going to learn anything, and B, you're going to get an average, so you're going to get 50% of the work. Okay, so make sure that you're using that tool to your benefit. Again, you want to get the homework points, so don't sit there at 2 in the morning struggling because you don't know one question. Go ahead and submit it. Look at the answers, try to figure out how you went wrong, and go back in and complete it. All right, so now I'm just going to take you one last thing to Blackboard. Okay, the first time that you go into Blackboard, you're going to first always see announcements. You can expect at least 2 announcements from me per week. Okay, so if you haven't heard from me, send me an email. Something's wrong. You should get 2 emails per week, or 2 announcements, and the announcements should feed to your email. You can always look at the syllabus, and I want you to look at the syllabus and the calendar at any point. Where you're going to find most of the coursework is in activities. The first time you look at activities, all you're going to find is the course orientation. After you complete the course orientation, you'll be given access to the rest of the information. When you complete Unit Number 1 exam, you'll be given access to Unit 2. When you go into Chapter 1, you'll see that there's all these different pieces to Chapter 1. So you can look at, here's the activities that I expect you to do. Here's what you should know when you're done with Chapter Number 1. Okay. You'll get Chapter Number 1 video. So here's a video. Okay. This is the video with the worksheet. And again, this is the worksheet that I recommend that you do for practice. So print out, a couple copies of this, or print out a copy and use it for practice later, self-quizzing. Cover up your answers and make sure that you're able to do the questions. Which reminds me, oftentimes I think, and again, I was a student and I did a lot of the things that I talk about, students want to practice by just looking at it. Like, oh yeah, I know how to do that problem. But really what you need to do is do work from scratch. No notes, no books, and just work through problems and see, do you really know how to do it? Because the answers all look like, oh yeah, I know, I'm familiar with that, I know that. But really self-quizzing is how you actually move that information into your memory. Okay, and then here's all of your LearnSmart interactive presentation and homework. Okay, so this is how you go ahead and launch into LearnSmart interactive presentations and homework. All right, so and the exams are all in there. The last thing that I want to just show you is, let's see, Excel assignments are in there. Sorry, should move you over there. All the information that you need is in here. But what I really want to show you is discussion board. I have 2 pieces in discussion board. One is my office hour, virtual office hours I should say, and one is student-to-student discussion board. What I recommend that you do is go into both of these and subscribe. So if you subscribe, what that does is every time a student posts a question, you will get an email with that question and my response. So you're kept current. So if a student goes in, and let me tell you how I would like you to use virtual office hours. If you have a question that pertains to you, like, hey, I'm struggling, I don't know. I'm struggling, sometimes I'll get, I've got little kids at home and I'm struggling on how to find time to study. Send me an email, that's more personal. But if you have a question about, hey, Professor Spark, the syllabus, the calendar states that, it's due, this project is due on Tuesday the 19th, and the 19th is really a Wednesday. Post that here so that basically I can respond and everybody will learn, oh, sorry, that's a typo, it's really this. Okay, so if it's something that all of your classmates would benefit from, put your question here in virtual office hours. Student to student, I do not subscribe to, but I recommend that you guys subscribe. And again, this could be, hey, it's late at night and I'm struggling on this, or hey, I found this video, I was confused about this topic and I found this video and it was really helpful and I wanted to share it with you guys. So the best courses work really well when students work together. And again, if you're subscribed to this, it's going to go out. And there's a lot of really cool resources out there on the web. Or, you know, I've had students that try to get study groups going on, or, hey, I went into the tutoring center today and it was really great, take advantage of it. So try to work with your classmates a little bit. I don't require it. I think every class takes on its own personality, and, you know, I would rather you get this form in the right class. So I don't require any posting, but it really helps engage everybody when I do get students that are willing to post to one another. So that's all I have for you. Again, please email me if you have any questions. I look forward to a great 8 weeks, and I hope I can get some accounting lovers out there. You'll see that I also advise the accounting club, so you'll get some announcements about that and invites to come see what different accountants do. Those meetings are open to all, so I encourage you to come out. It's a good way for me to meet you as well. So again, good luck. I look forward to working with you.